Buenos días a todos. Good morning, everybody. Oh my God, there's not enough sugar on the coffee. Good morning. I have already like 4 cups, so that's why I'm so up. It's really an honor for me to be here today to welcome all of you to Cal State Monterey Bay for this year's State of the Region gathering. It is wonderful to see many friends, many local leaders, and that represent the business, government, education, and community organizations. Because together, we are the ones that are, making this county move forward. The future of this tri-state area is between us, in our hands. Events like this remind us that the vitality of the local economy depends on the collaboration and also a shared vision. At Cal State Monterey Bay, we recognize our role in creating a strong economy and supporting our industry partners, while also preparing our students to be lifelong careers here at Monterey. Higher education is about creating opportunities, advancing innovation, and preparing the skilled workforce for our community and industry to rely on. Every time I take a microphone, people know me, I'm gonna brag. So I'm bragging, allow me for a couple of seconds. I'm really, really proud of where Cal State Monterey Bay is today. We continue to be recognized for affordable and accessible education that allow our students to advance to prepare meaningful careers. For the 3rd year in a row, we are ranked 1 or 2 top university on social mobility. It means our students graduate and they move forward financially within their generation. And that means that their family moves forward and the community moves forward. Also, U.S. News and World Report listed Cal State Monterey Bay as top 7 public institution on the West and top 13 mid-sized institution in the whole U.S. So that I'm going to applaud for myself. One of the things that we were receiving a recognition recently is that we're the number 8 school for veterans, which is also an area that is important for this region, and we need to continue to move forward. As a university, we continue to invest on pathways that are essential for our region. For example, we have launched accounting and agribusiness, and we continue to provide hospitality and other degrees that are really essential. Recently, we have a new mechatronic program that is growing very, very fast, which is important for agro. We also have agro plant and soil science, which is making difference here in the region to provide leaders on this area. We are also developing new health programs with our MPC partners and Harnell, so we're very excited about our continued growth. And we have a minor on AI. But we also want to talk to you. Tell us what you need. What are the future workforce needs that you need? So we can partner with you to ensure that we work together to solidify the economic footprint of this region. Partnerships are essential for a university, for us, not only for our students to connect with internships and build state-of-the-art infrastructure. So for example, the new Taylor building that will host engineering and NOAA is a donation and a collaboration with Taylor Farms and other members of the community. But we also look for advisory committees that help each of the colleges to gather information of what is needed on the industry and the community. We have strong ties with agro, with technology, healthcare, marine science, business, government, hospitality. But more important, those ties will help our students to be your future workforce. At any given time, we have over 3,700 students working on the community. That's a little secret that people don't know. Our students have to do 2 rounds of service community work, 1 lower level and 1 higher level. So we are really embedded on the community. This allows our students to be graduated with citizenship and knowing how important this region is. I wonder if you know how many of your students are part of, the Otter Raft. How many students are our alumni? And you will be surprised. Every time I go somewhere, I find an otter. And so I am proud of what we're doing to the community in terms of not only community volunteer work, but we provide most of the educational partners. Most of the teachers from the region come from us. We're really providing 80% of our students from agro stay in the region. And so that is an important thing. Investment on Cal State Monterey Bay is important for all of us because students will stay here. And you will have employees that will be able, they live here, they know here. They don't know how cold it was this morning. Oh my God, it was so cold. So anyway, I'm not going to complain about the weather. So at Cal State Monterey, we're all about the strength of us, which means that we're stronger when we work together, which means that we're stronger when we support each other and each member of the community. So I see you guys as members of our community. And I think the strength of this region, the strength of Cal State Monterey Bay, and the strength of each of your organization come from all of us working together to be sure that we have what it takes to move forward this amazing region. So thank you for being here today. I hope you enjoy your visit. I hope that you have very powerful conversations that will help all of us. Thank you and have a great day.
Good morning. Yeah, I don't have to do what Vanya said, right? Did everybody stir their coffee? Is there sugar in the coffee out there? Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Seaside, the beautiful city of Seaside, and the 2025 MBAP State of the Region. On behalf of the City Council and the residents of the city of Seaside, I want to welcome you here today. I want to thank MBAC for pulling us together, CSUMB for hosting, and the sponsors for making today happen. So I want to make sure we acknowledge the sponsors. This gathering is about more than one region with many voices, but our shared future. And even though we come from different parts of this region, we have one shared future, and we need to acknowledge that. We all want the same thing: good jobs, affordable health care system, and a great place to raise our families. When we work together, we go further and faster. That's what today is all about, with a focus on regional health care at a crossroads. Do we go left? Do we go right? Do we go straight ahead? Or do we take all three? That was the joke. That was the joke. But I guess you guys are serious this morning, right? But the thing is, I put it that way because that may be the answer to take all three. But we know we can't stay still at the stop sign. Does that make sense? We don't know whether it's left, right, or go forward, but we know we can't stand still. So it may be all three, depending on where you're at. It's personal. The cost of health care is touching everyone's household and our employers, costing jobs, local jobs. I'm looking forward to our keynote speaker, panelists, and to the ideals we'll bring home. Here in Seaside, we're trying to do our part. We're building workforce housing, where people can afford, so more families can stay here locally. We're moving forward with our Campus Town mixed-use project, linking housing, jobs with higher education. We're improving our downtown and growing our small businesses and teaming up with our regional partners to meet the challenges of the water demand, because none of us can do it alone. Better housing, safer streets, smarter infrastructure, that is a form of better health care also, public health care also. To our speakers and panelists, thank you for lending your expertise. And to everyone who has made time to be here today, thank you for showing up. It can only work because of you being here. The game plan today is to meet someone new, share some new ideals, and make a game plan for the next 90 days for action. MBAP, congratulations on 10 years of bringing us together at the table. Friends, neighbors, welcome to Seaside. Welcome to the State of the Region. Let's get to work. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Krista Snelling. I am the president and CEO of West Coast Community Bank and also the current board chair for MBEP. I'm just here to welcoming everyone on behalf of the board. So today we're tackling everything from good jobs to housing, digital access, childcare, future workforce, et cetera. We're going to hear from some business leaders in our region about the headwinds that they're facing and hopefully hear about some tailwinds as well. And we're going to get the scoop on the Monterey Bay Tech Hub, which was co-founded by UC Santa Cruz, DART, and MBEP. So MBEP has spent the last decade bringing people together to solve problems using the secret sauce of collaboration. There's no better example of that than the $7.5 million that was recently secured to turn our rural airports into flight testing playgrounds for advanced air mobility. And I feel like, there's a joke in there about economic development taking off. So, feel free to enjoy that one. We're honored today to host a whole bunch of amazing people from our community. Assemblywoman Lori Wilson, Salinas Valley Health's Dr. Alan Radner, Speaker Robert Rivas, Senator John Laird, Saracena Tukin, Matsui Nurseries' Teresa Matsui, and saving the best for last, Director Sam Asefa from the Governor's Office of Land Use and Climate Innovation, who will close us out before the reception. We'll also hear from Salinas Mayor Dennis Donahue at that reception. A couple quick thank yous before I leave you here today. I want to extend a special thanks to MBEP members and board members, especially CSU Monterey Bay President Vanya Quinones, who was up here for hosting us today. If you have ever been a board member of MBEP or R1 currently, can you stand up for just 1 second? Bud, I see you. Stand up. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your contributions. If you want to join MBEP, please check out mbep.biz, as membership is the fuel that allows us to do what we do. And want to take one more second as well to thank our sponsors, because without them, we would not be able to offer this valuable programming. And as we all know, regions rise together, and today we're showing how to make positive change with a little help from our friends. And speaking of friends, I'm from Sacramento, and I served for many years on the board of the Sacramento Food Bank with my friend Karen Woodruff from Wells Fargo, who's our title sponsor, and it is my best day ever to get to introduce her to you. Come on out.
I'm Karen Woodruff, Senior Vice President of Philanthropy and Community Impact. These people are very short. God. And I serve 43 counties across California, and it's my honor today to be representing some of my colleagues from Wells Fargo, but to be the catalyst sponsor for this amazing event that's bringing stakeholders and leaders across this region together to learn, grow, and better understand the opportunities coming at us. So just quickly, because you're all tired, is why did the leader start a bakery? Because he knew how to make others rise. Oh, I know, it's good. It's just a way to kind of celebrate this region, and part of the Monterey Bay Economic Partnership, what they are doing is convening all of us to talk about opportunities, challenges that face us, and bring us all together for collective impact. And that's really what Wells Fargo looks for, is opportunities to fill those gaps, whether it's small business development, housing for veterans, or those that need a safe place to call home, or financial literacy, mobility opportunities across our region. We support opportunities like United Way, who's here with us today, Chispa, Alba, so it's agricultural, it's this effort of this region's strengths, which is agricultural. You are a hub, not only a strategic asset to California, but to the country. And so this region is so important, and it's just really my honor to be here representing Wells Fargo and my colleagues, but also great minds, policy leaders, and stakeholders that really make this region great. So welcome, thank you so much for having us and hosting us, and we hope you have a beautiful and exciting and networking great day.
Hey everybody, it's Jimmy Panetta, the United States Representative for our 19th Congressional District, a district that stretches from South San Jose to Santa Cruz, down the Monterey County coastline, all the way to northern San Luis Obispo County. Yes, it's a big district, and yes, we have a lot of beauty and a lot of bounty, but also, as you know, it's a very, very diverse district, not just geographically, but politically, culturally, and yes, socioeconomically. That's why it's been great to work with the Monterey Bay Economic Partnership for helping bring the district together, for helping us work together and helping us come together, not just for the state of the region, but also on our issues and, more importantly, how together we can develop solutions. Look, as you can tell from this fancy backdrop, I'm still in our nation's capital, but trust me when I say I'd rather be there with all of you. Unfortunately, I'm stuck here, we're stuck here, as we try to negotiate our way out of this government shutdown so that we can reopen our government, so that we can protect health care, and yes, so that we can lower prices for working families. But for now, let me also congratulate MBEP on the recent $7.5 million award to establish California's first FFA-compliant multi-airport flight corridor network right here on the Central Coast. This investment builds on the incredible work already happening at places like Marina and Salinas airports, and it will put our region at the forefront of the advanced air mobility industry. And let me tell you, as the co-chair of the Advanced Air Mobility Caucus here in Washington, D.C., there is tremendous bipartisan support in Congress for delving into the potential that this technology has to change how we connect communities, how we deliver goods, and how we respond to emergencies, while at the same time creating the kind of high-quality jobs that sustain and improve our local economy. With MBEP's help, the Central Coast is proving not just to be a testing ground, but also a launching pad for the future of aviation. Let me also take this time to highlight the introduction of my Monterey Bay National Heritage Area Study Act. This is legislation that would direct the National Park Service to study whether our region qualifies for this type of designation. A national heritage area would recognize the extraordinary cultural and historical and ecological significance of our home. But also, it would unlock new opportunities for community-driven conservation, heritage tourism, and economic development. And I'm proud to say that MBEP, once again, stepped up and is willing to serve as the local coordinating entity for this process. That means that MBEP helps us ensure that all of your voices, all of the voices of our communities are heard every step of this process. Look, preserving the beauty and bounty of our region is our priority, but it's also about securing opportunities for our future. Of course, as we look forward, though, we have to confront the biggest challenge of our region, and yes, the 19th Congressional District. That's housing affordability. Too many families who work here can't afford to live here. Obviously, MBEP and many of you are working so hard at the local and regional levels to develop concrete solutions. And clearly, our state assembly members and senators are also working and passing legislation to deal with this ever-pressing issue. I can tell you, though, at the federal level, we continue to ensure proper funding through the power of the congressional purse for programs that work to house the most vulnerable. But also why I've leaned in to authoring and creating common sense solutions to help housing affordability, including the doubling of the capital gains tax on home sales so that we can get more homes on the market, bringing back the first-time homebuyers tax credit and making it $15,000, creating a middle-income housing tax credit so that the people who work here can actually live here. And yes, I support legislation to help qualifying renters with a federal tax credit. It's these types of federal solutions, along with expanding proven tools like the low-income housing tax credit, which I believe can help us meet the urgent need for more affordable homes all across our region. So thanks again to all of you for being at the MBEP State of the Region, but also for taking stock about where we are and where we need to go. With leadership of MBEP, our region is embracing innovation in industries like advanced air mobility. We're preserving and celebrating our unique heritage, and together we're facing head-on the tough challenges of housing affordability and with creativity and collaboration. I look forward to continuing to work with all of you to strengthen our communities, to grow our economy, and to ensure that the Monterey Bay region remains not only one of the most beautiful, one of the most bountiful places in the world, but also the best place to live, work, and to be able to call this place our home. Thank you.
Just wanted to highlight and thank a few folks. I know that our board chair, Krista Snelling, did point out some folks, but I do want to also pause because we cannot do the work that we do at the Monterey Bay Economic Partnership without that P, the partnership. It's critical if we're having conversations about housing, broadband, job retention, growth, recruiting other companies to our region. So just wanted to spend a few moments there. We started not so long ago, about a decade ago, with this simple notion of how do we create and improve the economic health and quality of life in the Monterey Bay region. I should be using my clicker. Hold on. So the mission is simple. We are trying to create a region that is for all, and it's thriving and improving the economic health and quality of life. But what are those strategies, and how do we get to that? Well, without, again, the partnerships and people coming together, it's not possible. We need to have folks who are builders. I'm very pleased to announce and share that our builders, our founders, our co-founders, there's three, Marianne Leffel, Bud Colligan, and Renee Mendez are actually in the room today. I would love for them to stand so we can give them a round of applause. It was their genius idea a decade ago. So if you're wondering the why, these are the three who were behind the why and looking for a vision of how do we bring together Santa Cruz, San Benito, and Monterey counties and discuss and resolve and solve together and build and forge solutions around our shared economic ecosystem across our three counties. We really have to acknowledge the three builders who came together. And also, again, the partnership of our board of directors, without whom we cannot do the work that is necessary to do. I always want to acknowledge the team MBEP. Again, there's a few of us, but we're a mighty team who punch above our weight, who bring some unique and amazing skill sets to the table, who work tirelessly every day to create a thriving region. Without our members and in being in partnership and lockstep in our members, we cannot meet the needs and identify and advocate even in the local, regional, or state policy-making circles. So thank you to all of our members. We are a member-driven organization. That is how we were formed. And it's our members who help shape the agenda of what we work in and what are the issues that we focus on. And of course, as Krista mentioned earlier, it's always helpful to be able to convene and come together. And without our sponsors, it's really tough to do. We are a nonprofit. We're regional. We serve 3 counties. And we also do this in partnership with our partners south of us, so we can really lift up the narrative of the Central Coast, that we too are investment worthy and investment necessary in our region beyond the mega regions of the Bay Area and the LA area. And again, regional partnerships, again, going back to the P in MBEP. Without our regional partnerships, and there's a whole host of initiatives that we work in, we've launched, we've co-founded, or works alongside with our partners, whether it's our Regions Rise Together initiative launched in 2020, to the Tech Hub that was launched last year, or Uplift the year before. It's really looking at how do we work lockstep side by side with our regional folks on education, on climate resilience, on job readiness, on technology. Our primary footprint, as outlined in that circle, is our 3 counties here, the Monterey Bay region. But we are cognizant that if we want to leverage opportunities and funding and policymaking, we also have to work with our partners across the entire Central Coast. And so there's been a lot that's happened in the last decade of progress, where we launched in 2014. We've had a whole host of things. I was looking through the old archives and noted that it was actually Lieutenant Governor, then Newsom, that actually highlighted one of our state of regions. And back in 2015, as I'm sort of reflecting, Back then, we were the 6th largest economy. Now, depending on who you read today, we have, I think, dropped down to number 5. We were 4 last week. So a lot has happened. So imagine a decade ago what was happening. iPhone 6 had just come out, Apple Watches were just novel, and now fast forward, those are things that we can't and we don't sort of live without. Median home prices in California were about $5,475,000. They've now doubled to about $850,000, depending on the market, right? Depending on the market. Our market looks a little bit different. So what do we do and why? Again, early in 2014, when our builders and founders came together, they recognized that if we want a growing, thriving region, we need a cross-sector of folks to come together to talk and network, build bridges, and figure out how do we forge solutions in a region of our size. We are less than 1 million populace across the 3 counties, 767 roughly across 3 counties. And it was very clear early on that housing needed to be front and center and broadband access. Because without housing and the ability to house your labor in an affordable, attainable, and that includes middle income earners, that includes our farm worker housing, everybody, and market rate. If we don't increase the housing supply, it's difficult to retain the companies here and difficult to recruit new companies to the region. So housing was initially our big launching pad back in 2015. You'll hear more this afternoon from Matt, our VP of Community Development, who heads up our housing. Why broadband? We always get that question. We assume that broadband is ubiquitous, that it's everyone's connected. Everyone has their cell towers and broadband towers everywhere, and therefore it's from Big Sur to Donnie Boone to Chualar to South County, that everybody is connected. When in fact, that is not the case. And advocating for that, making sure there's federal and state funding for our internet service providers, large and small, who can wire up our communities is really, really critical, because that, as Maura and David will share later this afternoon, is critical to make sure that we have access to education, e-commerce, and so many other things. And then childcare and early learning is critical if we're trying to get our workforce back in post-pandemic. And childcare policies are critical to making sure that our economy also thrives. So, and technology and innovation that I think has been mentioned a lot. We will also hear more from our Tech and Advanced Air Mobility panel in a little bit, and why we also launched the Monterey Bay Tech Hub. You will hear a lot more later on some of these other issues, but just wanting to make sure that we are the economic partnership and putting the E back into the economic. It is really important that we figure out ways and solutions and strategies to keep our business and our industry here. We work uniquely at the intersection of community, of government, and of business. That's what the Monterey Bay Economic Partnership is uniquely sort of positioned to do. And again, and without you, it's difficult. This is one of those, I wanted to always highlight that we, in addition to working with our companies and our community, we are always looking at data and bringing folks together to create plans. In 2020, we were first launched the Regions Rise Together Blueprint 1, funded by the Irvine Foundation. It was an inclusive economic development plan that did center community along with all of our other partners. That fed into the Uplift Central Coast Plan, which is a 6-county plan funded by the state of California, and then it has subsequently feeds into the state economic blueprint that the governor released earlier this year. So we want to make sure that what we need and what our community needs, and we are very much aware and cognizant of our duality around tourism and hospitality, our agricultural industry, our healthcare and education, but are also keeping an eye on where there could be growth. So these economic development plans feed into each other. I am going to conclude because I am very aware of our time, and we have an amazing keynote speaker who's going to address healthcare specifically. And it's my pleasure to now turn it over to Dr. Radner. Salinas Valley Health is a longtime friend and a partner and a member of MBEP. And Dr. Radner has been at the helm roughly a year, and he will talk to us about the healthcare situation that we're in and what is uniquely different in our region. Thank you. Dr. Radner.